February 22nd meeting of the Public Outreach Committee of the Monterey Peninsula Water Management District. And is there a possibility to call the roll, please? And Joel, I see you're muted, Joel. There we go.
Muted. Chair Adams.
Here.
Director Anderson.
Here.
All right.
Thank you. And I'll note that although our letterhead indicates that there is a vacant position on this board, it is for seat district number 3. And probably at the board meeting on the 25th, we will approve the person who will be representing District 3 on our board. If I'm correct in that, Mr. Stolt?
That is correct.
Great. So that would be Safwat.
Yep. And I just got a text from Stephanie. There's Karen as the alternate.
Karen is here. That's wonderful. So we'll show that we have 3 board members participating then. Myself, good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
And Amy Anderson. So that's terrific. Okay, so let's move forward then. Are there any members of the public who would like to make comment on anything that is not on today's agenda? Does anyone see any member of the public wishing to speak?
There we go.
There's nobody with their hands raised.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. That would just be terrific. So then we can move right ahead into the action items of the agenda today. And the first is to consider adoption of the November 23rd committee meeting minutes. Is there any member of the public that would like to comment on the minutes?
Yeah, the only member of the public is actually Alvin Edwards.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, he's a pretty public guy. That's terrific. And I know that sometimes this is the question as I bring it back to the board for adoption of the minutes. If one was not present at the meeting, can you vote? And my understanding is the answer to that is yes, because it's more an administrative statement than the approval of any action items within the minutes themselves.
That is correct. You're more receiving it into the record than actually attesting to its authenticity.
Thank you. So with that, entertain a
I move
motion.
adoption of the minutes.
Thank you, Amy Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Paul, seconds. So then let's take a vote. If you're in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, excellent. Any opposed? We put it difficult. Okay, thank you. So that's done. And then moving forward, we'll do the next action item, which is to review and approve the 2021 committee meeting schedule. Is there any member of the public that would like to comment on this item?
There's no hands raised, Director Adams.
Thank you. Thank you, Joelle. Okay, would anyone on our committee make comment, or shall we go ahead and take a motion on this?
Yeah, I just want to highlight that Monday, November 22nd is the week of Thanksgiving. And Monday, December 27th is obviously right after Christmas and the week of New Year's. So
Is it appropriate to wait until we get closer to those dates to make changes?
yeah.
Or, okay,
Yeah,
why don't we go ahead and do that?
And I might possibly be gone on July 26th, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move forward with this a motion on this, and knowing that we will be able to amend it as we get closer to the dates, and also pending other people's schedules, which may change, and then we could change the date and time of the meeting to accommodate that. Okay.
I move
Yep.
we adopt the schedule.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. So that is Ms. Paul who made the motion, and Ms. Anderson who seconded it. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, great. That motion passes.
Madam Chair, actually, it has to be a roll call vote.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Okay, Joelle, you're back on again.
Chair Adams,
Aye.
Director Anderson,
Aye.
and Director Paul.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries. Now we'll go to item number 3 on the agenda, which should be a very interesting item, and that's to receive the overview of the outreach program by TMD Creative and provide direction on future actions. So we'll go into the presentation first, and then we will come back to the board for comment, then go out to the public, and then come back to the board for vote. So Sam, it's up to you.
Yep, you're muted or
Thank you.
there you go.
Can everyone see my screen?
Mhm.
You know, I'm going to stop for just a second. Stephanie, do you have a presentation that you want to make before we go to TMD? I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. No, I will introduce Sam since we do have 2 new board members, and the point of this item actually was to introduce our new board members to our marketing outreach team. We hired TMD marketing in late September of last year. And so we've kind of been getting the ropes together. We had previously we had a consultant who was with us for a number of years. So we've had to switch passwords and figure out how all of our media works and whatnot for TMD. And so we've started with a plan this year, but because we had the election and we had an open board position, the board is scheduled to have its strategic planning session in March. We've kind of been holding back a little bit to see what the direction of the board's going to be going forward. But I've asked Sam to give us an overview of where we've gone at this point. And then we do have a list of topics that we came up with earlier, or actually, I guess it was probably October, of what we call our branding ads, which is monthly ads that we run in both the Pinecone and the weekly. And it's just generally a topic that we just put our water district out there so that people don't forget about us. But Sam, I'll take it away.
Great. Thank you very much, Stephanie. And I'll just do kind of a little introduction to the TMD team. TMD Creative was started in 1999, so we've been in business a little over 20 years. I'm the main project manager and primary contact on this account, and I help with messaging development and will help with messaging development once we kind of get a strategic set of priorities in order. Nick Pasquuli is the owner of the company, and he also helps manage the account and will help with messaging development. And listed below are some of the support staff in terms of, photo, video, graphic design, et cetera. And we've already started on a few items. I have links to these in the presentation, so I think all of you will get a copy of the presentation after the meeting, so you can see some of the things we've created afterwards. Just kind of going to go into our process a little bit, kind of tell you how we work. We really like to listen and learn, understand the audiences. From what we've understood thus far, there's kind of 3 main audiences that we'll be targeting, industry/government, business, and, the general public. So we want to make sure each time we're speaking to one of those audiences, that the messaging is tailored for them. Obviously, the collaboration, once you have a strategic direction from your strategic planning session, we'll really look forward to really developing more kind of the PR piece, and making sure that the general public understands, what the district is doing, what we're aiming for, and, how we serve the community. And then, the effect is that we'll get, greater presence top of mind. More people will know who the district are, maybe that don't right now, and that will kind of engage in a greater dialogue and back and forth with the public and businesses and government/industry. So what have we done thus far? We've reviewed the current marketing materials and then segmented the audiences, as I mentioned before, with the general public, business, and government industry. We set up a joint Dropbox account between the Water District and TMD for file sharing. We've created 3 ads for both the weekly and the Pinecone, and links to both of those are below. I put in short links, but they're all links to a Dropbox, and you won't need a Dropbox account to view them. If you just click on the link when you get the report, you'll be able to see the ads we've made thus far for both the weekly and the Pinecone. I put separate links for each of those. We've also shot photos and video of the Steelhead release program and the lagoon breach. You can see the images for both the Steelhead release program. We went out a couple different times for that shoot, and then also the lagoon breach. And you can also see some of the videos that we've created from those shoots as well on the Vimeo links there. And then we've also been developing content and posting to social media, and you can see those at the links below there. All right, so for the next steps, one of the things we really want to incorporate is a newsletter. Now, the amount of times we're going to be sending that out a year, whether it's quarterly or monthly, is to be determined. I think we're kind of leaning quarterly a little bit more now. We do want to build more of a bigger mailing list. There already is a mailing list through MailChimp that the district has, but we're really going to be looking to grow that in the coming months. Ongoing ads, we're going to keep the public informed via the Weekly and the Pinecone. These will be top of mind ads, as Stephanie mentioned, but we'll also incorporate some messaging in there. Obviously water is a big issue on the peninsula, so I think we'll have some important things to say after the strategic planning meeting we have. And then PR is one of the things we'll definitely want to make sure that we're staying on top of on all the major water issues that the district is tackling. And additionally, we'll also want to refresh the website a little bit. Our opinion is, it needs to have a little bit better mobile first experience and better user interface. We'll also be assisting with, an annual report. We've talked about a few different formats to possibly do this, maybe a short printed piece or possibly even a kind of a video year-end report. And then obviously this is all pending further direction. We'll be looking to the board, specifically the Public Outreach Committee, to help guide us on what we need to be focusing on in terms of messaging. So moving forward, this is kind of what we're going to report on at our meetings moving forward with you. A review of the latest work and deliverables. We'll be doing an analytics overview in terms of web and social. Review any quantitative or qualitative insights. Discuss upcoming deliverables, issues, important dates, etc. Get your feedback, and then have a dialogue and answer any questions that you may have. And that's kind of it. And I'm happy to kind of answer any questions that you may have after hearing this.
Yes, I have one.
Great.
Sam, what's mobile first experience? What does that refer to?
Oh, thank you. I should have explained that. So that means that people that are using their cell phones or tablets to view your site, that's with, I'd say, the vast majority of websites now has a little, definitely over 50% of the people are viewing it on mobile devices. So we really want to make sure that since they're the largest audience, that we're really catering to, their needs. And then the site is working, super well on mobile, and it's easy to find the things you're looking for in as few clicks as possible.
Do you have a follow-up question, Karen?
I have a couple more questions.
Go ahead.
Currently, how often is the newsletter going out?
Currently, we haven't had a newsletter for probably a couple of years at this point.
Yeah, it started quarterly, and then we went to semi-annual, one in the summer, one in the winter. And then with the change in representation, it just kind of died.
Okay. And then as far as newspaper ads, has the district ever considered also placing an ad in the Cedar Street Times, the PG newspaper?
Yeah, we have done that from time to time. We have not regularly used them, just like we don't typically advertise in the Herald either.
Mm-hmm.
But we've talked about, I know that Chair Edwards would like to see more of it. We've tried to do the cost benefit. I know Marjan loves the business. I just don't know what the circulation is. As a Pogrovian, what do you think, Karen?
Well, as a Pogrovian, I would love to see it, actually. I can't tell you what the circulation is either, and I don't know if Marjan can tell you either, because well, currently the print edition is only coming out once a month.
Yeah.
And who knows how many people do it online.
Well, maybe we can look at when they come out with the print edition. That might be a time that we could, include our ad in it. And Sam, let's mark that for a follow-up.
Sure, absolutely.
I assume that you're not doing the Herald because it's down below 9,000 circulation.
Yeah, and its format doesn't really speak well. We did a full page, a decade of success themed full pager, which went really well.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Yeah. We thought about trying to rent some column inches, kind of like the Chamber does. It makes it look newsy, but it's really, just paid advertising. But we haven't found a format that really works with the Herald. And you're right, its circulation's way down.
Yeah.
It is a
really
critical
expensive.
vote. Yeah, it's expensive. The
Very
circulation is down. Unfortunately, it's, I think, the last mouthpiece for people who are actively engaged.
Yeah.
Many people who probably are not on the same side as we're on, which
Yeah.
means it may be a good place for us at some point to put some effort. So
Yeah, we
I-
try to do, guest opinions and things like that because
Mhm.
it still seems to be the format for opinion pieces. But yeah, it's
And a lot less expensive.
It's an issue. Yeah, a lot less. We become content. But I like to laugh that, they roll it up and it's not even heavy enough to throw to your
Oh,
doorstep.
I
absolutely,
call it
yeah.
a fish wrapper,
Yeah.
but I do read it and I do pay for it because it's got local news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, can I share my screen for a second?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thanks. Let's see. Where's my list?
I've got a couple of questions I might ask while you're setting it up, Stephanie.
Sure.
And one was going back to the newsletter for a minute. With the question about Marjan's paper brought it to my mind. Do you feel that that is something that we should reconsider, especially in light of the fact that we do have a new, it is a new board of directors? And if in fact that was something we would do, is it something that we would have TMD do, or is that something that we would do in-house?
What would be something TMD would help us with?
Okay.
And what I'm sharing right now is the list of the different branding ad ideas that we had for subject material.
Right. And instead of AT&T Golf, we went with ASR Injection in February. Because we always, every few months we want to have something about water supply. And ASR is probably not going to be a very successful season because of the precipitation.
Yeah.
But on the heels of, putting enough in to serve 350 homes for a year, we just thought, all right, that's opportunistic enough. People remember it just rained, so that's what we did there. Obviously did the Steelhead and Lagoon Breach back in January. But this is kind of where I think we're at. Where's Pure Water Monterey?
April.
That's in April.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Is there anything magic about this order, or could we flip it if we chose to flip?
We can
April,
flip it.
March?
Absolutely flip it. The three pieces that kind of have magic to it, if you will, is we usually do a car week theme.
Mm-hmm.
We've typically done an AT&T Golf theme, but this year we didn't because there were no visitors. And then the fish rescues are usually seasonal. So, if we're going to do anything, if it's a good year, the timing is determined really by the release dates and so forth. But other than that, yeah, we can move them around. The goal is just to get something about water supply out there periodically. But yeah, we've got complete flexibility.
Is this used ever for kind of promoting the things that can lead to conservation for the rebates? I mean, actually specifically trying to sell some things that might be underutilized?
Well, we have, like in the past, done clothes washers, which is our most popular rebate. And we've done advertisements for irrigation systems and rain sensors and over the years, I think we've done many of the things that we do the rebates for,
Yeah,
and promoting the rebate program.
yeah, I think it's,
Do we ever try to hook the ad with when, you know, Home Depot, et cetera, are doing the sales of washing machines or dishwashers, that sort of thing?
We have, yeah. In fact, we actually partnered with Home Depot several years ago to do a ultra high efficiency toilet program where we set up tables at Home Depot and had people fill out rebate applications when they picked up their toilets.
Has there
great.
been any consideration for something like that again?
I suppose we could do that again, probably not until we're through this COVID emergency, but
Yeah,
um,
I always forget.
That's hard to do.
yeah,
I
when we
know,
want to be around people again.
Oh, I'm so desperate to be around people, I'll sit at Home Depot. That's how badly I miss people.
Have there been some form of outreach about water-wise gardening?
Well, we've done a lot of classes and workshops, and so that's all part of this. And what's not really said with this is that this list is the branding ads. So in addition to that, we do workshops, and those are advertised separately. So we'll do Facebook ads, we'll do print ads, we'll do mailers where we send out postcards, that kind of thing, from time to time. The mailing's obviously more expensive than running most
Yes.
of these ads, but you know, we partner with Cal-Am on our conservation program, and so we're able to also use their dollars to help promote our programs.
How popular is Facebook for the district? How much activity is there?
Not as much as we would like to see, but you know, one of our goals is to improve that. And once we get you know, some of this strategic direction, our thought is to place some ad dollars behind them to reach more people. So that's something that we're really going to be focusing on once we get that strategic direction. I also wanted Mary to jump back to your note on the newsletter. Our thought is, you know, as soon as we, you know, get the newsletter going again, we kind of want to focus on a few different things. One of those is there's kind of like a conservation tip or you know, gardening tip or something that lets people, you know, work to help save water. You know, we'll also try to also, you know, say something that speaks kind of to all the audiences on there, whether those are kind of separate little sections in there. It's to kind of to be determined. And then we'd like to include, you know, something a little bit more interactive in there, like getting a, you know, one of the videos we've made or something like that, to kind of get people more engaged as well. So we definitely are planning on, you know, bringing the newsletter, and as soon as we get some, you know, strategic direction, we'll incorporate that. And really one of the things we're looking for with that, you know, strategic feedback is kind of, you know, how are we going to frame the water issues and the projects that the district is either undertaking or is facing if it's an issue, you know, and how we plan to, you know, tackle that. So those are the kind of things we're looking for as far as the direction goes. It's just kind of tone and substance with what the focus should be on and how we should be talking about it.
Thank you for that. Going back to, thank you very much for that, Sam. We'll have to figure out how we can do that. But I did want to ask a question, and I noticed in your PowerPoint, one of the things that you said was measure effectiveness, essentially. And so I'm just kind of curious about that. And number one, how do we do that? when do we do it? Because I'm conscious of the fact that if in fact we measure and it's not effective, we need to pivot.
Absolutely.
I think is one of the most important things about the work that that we do with outreach. So I was just kind of curious about that. And in fact, what would we be measuring? Would we be measuring all entities, you know, across all platforms, newsletter, newspaper, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Just your
Yeah,
thoughts.
no, those are great. That's great questions, Mary. I'd say the way I would look at it is we'd be measuring everything that is digital because that's the most easily measured. You know, we could measure or do focus groups or something like that on the newspaper ads, but I don't think that would be, you know, a cost-effective use of our resources. So some of the things we'll be looking at is when we make updates, you know, to the website, you know, how is that affecting traffic before and after? You know, obviously we'll be promoting some of those changes through the newsletter and through social media. And then we'll also be putting an ad budget behind those as well. So as far as the social media goes, you know, we've been doing that for a little over a month. So I'd say at the next meeting, we'll start to be looking at the analytics on that. You know, as soon as we get a newsletter out, every time we have a newsletter the following meeting, there will be a report on that. We'll look at the open rate, the click-through rate, you know, and the number of people, obviously, that are getting it. We'll be looking to grow our subscriber base. So that's also something we'll look at on a month-to-month basis. You know, last month we were at 432 subscribers. This month we're at, you know, 532. So yeah, that's it. And then, you know, we'll set goals with that as well. And, you know, we'll review those goals, and if we're not meeting them, then we'll look to make adjustments like you mentioned.
Good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that explanation.
So I could be a subscriber if I wanted, but I don't know how to be one, and I never heard about it before. What's a subscriber?
There's a subscription on the current website. So if you go to MPWMD website,
Okay.
you can sign up right there.
You know, there's a piece that COD puts out. I think I don't know if it's 4 times a year or twice a year, but they put out a really effective. Now it's a mail piece, so that's expensive. It's in color, but it's a really good informational piece. It's quite attractive, and you know, if you want to read about little critters in the wastewater and stuff, it's interesting. It's good for a biologist. It's terrific.
Well, I think this is great because the feedback that you're giving us is what we can plan for with our next year's budget. And so that's, you know, we really do, this committee really is to help guide where we want to go with our outreach program.
And just a reminder to all of us that if you choose to use the Postal Service as the delivery mechanism, there are special rules that apply as to the content in terms of featuring the elected officials by photo or by text. And we just always have to remember that.
Absolutely. One thing I do also want to mention too is in the ads that we've been making, we've also been referencing subscribing to the newsletter. And we've also been putting QR codes in. I believe we put a QR code in the last one. If not, we'll put one in the next. But utilizing QR codes to get people to sign up for the newsletter as well.
Did you say that's quite effective?
Yeah, the QR codes are definitely becoming more and more effective. I don't know if all of you know this, but if you have you know, an iPhone 10, 11, or 12, any of the new cell phones, Android as well, you know, if you just, like you're taking a picture, you pull up your camera and you just hold it over a QR code, you'll have a little pop-up on your phone and you click it and it'll bring you right to the website.
Great, thank you. I need all the help I can get.
Yeah.
Gotta buy a new cell
Take a
phone.
picture of it, good, number one.
Right.
Yeah, it's really, really big with restaurants right now for their menus.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah, and then you have to find your glasses to be able to read it on
Yeah.
your phone when you're looking at the food you want. It's always something.
I saw them out on the trails this weekend, out on, can't think of the name of the trail that goes beyond the Rancho Cañada, but they had QR codes on you know, the intersections at the trails. So if you want to get a map,
That's great. Up at Palo Corona?
yeah, that was at
Yeah.
Paul Corona. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, you used to be able to need an app to a QR code app, and they kind of, you know, they started several years ago, and they kind of died off because people didn't realize you had to download an app. But now that they're kind of integrated on you know, newer cell phones, they're definitely becoming, you know, used more and more, and more people know how to use them, and you know, that's something we want to take advantage of.
Yeah.
However, we do also put the URL on there as well. So people that don't know how to use QR codes can still get the direct link to where to go.
well, you've instructed us all. I'm sure we're all going to try it now.
Yeah.
Thank you. So have we spoken enough about focus for you to, you know, sort of have an idea, both Stephanie and Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. We would, you know, I don't know what, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, Stephanie or Dave, if you have any, you know, thoughts, that I would like to, you know, kind of get together or have some sort of debrief of the strategic planning session. I don't know, you know, if there's any rules, David, you know, as far as how we can, you know, get that information, but that's something I want to make sure we jump on right away after that meeting. That's kind of
Yeah,
my
and the
thought.
dates,
Yeah.
there's two sessions. One is March 12th, and then the wrap up is March 26th. So, you know, we're still a month away. But yeah, we will definitely do that. In the vernacular, we've got, we have an annual report requirement. We've always kind of downplayed it to the extent we can, you know, kind of match up. You know, TAMSI does an annual report, PVCSD does an annual report. So I think we need to decide if we're going to do an annual report as kind of like the annual newsletter or what. And so we still need to have some sidebar conversations on that. And then the newsletter cycle, you know, quarterly or semi-annually, and who's going to prepare content. Stephanie and I will meet with you separately on that as well. But those are things that we can get started on. But we definitely need to get through the strategic planning sessions.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea to have something, especially because I feel like we're in a new position in comparison to Cal-Am, and getting out there is your friendly water management district.
Understood.
So is your plan then that the next newsletter, essentially, should we choose to do this, would be just immediately following the strategic plan? We wouldn't do anything prior to that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. And about how many people do we have in the newsletter portfolio as far as the numbers of people who receive it?
Yeah, I think it's still in that
We're on the
same kind of several hundred. It's our MailChimp mailing list. It's similar to our board packet list, but I think it's a little more extensive. You know, Sam was pointing out that you go to our website, there's a newsletter sign up at the very top bar.
Never seen it.
I have not been tracking if we've had any recent signups or not. For a while, we were sending out summaries of board meetings to our MailChimp address, but I don't believe that's happened for several years at this point.
Is the newsletter option included in any of our media ads, like for the weekly and for the Pinecone, so that people know there's a newsletter?
We've never done that. Yeah, steering people to come sign up.
Yeah,
That's not a bad idea.
Although once if they use the QR code or whatever, they would get subscribed to our MailChimp. Isn't that right, Sam?
That's correct. Yeah, we have been including that in the ads, and you'll be able to see those when you get this report. I'll have there's a link in there to all the ads we've done, and we do have a QR code and mention of the newsletter in there. We just started doing that.
That's great. Good. That's excellent. That's excellent. Any other thoughts or comments on this as we move forward? So the plan essentially is that we will continue with the ads based on the screen share that Stephanie did. We'll continue with that, except we may flip April and March as far as focus goes, so that in April, we'll be looking more at ASR, correct? I'm sorry that I don't remember exactly which it
Yeah,
was.
or pure water, something
Pure
water
right,
supply.
Right, yeah, yep, water supply, great, okay, super. So we could do that. And then after the strategic planning sessions, then we'll do the next newsletter that will be kind of a, oh, we're still here sort of thing, I would think. Oh, wow, good. Oh, this is great.
So right here, we have the newsletter sign up here.
Got it.
Aha, good.
Are you able to show us more of these? You know, like this one, this is just really good to see.
Yeah, there's a link for, I mean, we can go over all of them right now if you want, but there's also a link in the presentation, which will be included, I think, in the follow-up that everybody will have linked to, and that'll give you a link to everything we've worked on so far, including the ads, the photos and video, and then the social media channels as well. But we can go over that now if there's time, if you'd like.
Do you want to do just sort of quickly go through them so we can see them? I think they're very inspiring.
Sure, I'd like to.
Great. So this one is from January of 2021. It features one of the photos we have of the Steelhead release. And then we also did a version for the Pine Cone as well, more or less. These are more or less the same ads. Obviously, they're different, you know, kind of orientation. And let me go ahead and pull up the first ad we did. Here. Here's the first one we did for the Pine Cone.
I love that one.
Beautiful.
Not loading.
Yeah.
We have too many things open. Hold on.
Wow.
There, that's a better version. I don't know if it wasn't loading on my other one, but here's the one we did for the weekly. This is another one of the photos that we took out there on our first photo shoot. So we're really utilizing, you know, those photos in the ad. We have a little copy down here. And then in this one, we also had the QR code. And then we also had the, you know, for updates on Measure J, visit there as well. That's something we also, I should mention in the strategic planning session, you know, we'll really want some direction on how to talk about Measure J moving forward. And then here is the most recent one we made for the Pine Cone.
Yeah.
This one, we did not shoot the photo on this one. We do want to get out there and get the ASR plant. But yeah, we're a little, you know, we've done, I think, 3 photo and video shoots thus far, but, you know, we really only have kind of the Steelhead location and rehabilitation area out there in Carmel Valley, the river, and then the lagoon breach. Those are kind of the 3 areas we have covered thus far. Here are some of the photos we took of the breach. I'll just scroll through a few of them here so you can kind of take a look at them. Get a bigger view, there we go. And you're still seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
And these were taken right after the breach began.
That'll be evidence in a court trial, I'm sure.
You know, Dave, I swear to God, my mind was exactly there. All morning long, I've been just reading emails from people who are furious.
About lots of things, huh?
Yeah, sadly. But today, it was the people who were impacted by the flooding.
The flooding.
Because the breach did not go as planned.
Right.
Be glad you live on a hill.
I am.
And then I'll just quickly pull up one of the videos we made as well. hopefully it comes through. Sometimes when you're on Zoom, it doesn't go through the best. But
The pictures
Here
are
it is.
just fabulous, though.
a
Yeah.
video we made, just showing the steelhead. It has sound too, but I'm not playing the sound. And all these links, everything are included in the presentation I gave today, so you'll be able to view this all again as well.
Great. Okay, no restrictions on showing staff at work, right, Dave Laredo?
I'm sorry, I was on mute.
Oh,
There
right.
is no restriction, no. It's featuring the elected officials.
Right, right.
You can have a simple list of elected officials, but you can, and it's, once again, this is for mailed. So for the video, you could have the video, but if it's mailed, you cannot.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that for something like this, it's good to show the staff at work as well as what,
Definitely.
what the project is about.
Hmm.
I like that.
I do too. It just brings it, makes it so much more
Ooh.
real. Look at that.
Look at that. That's a cool little fish.
Well, one other thought, yeah, I really like the people can actually see the staff doing this. It's really
Mhm.
great. Well, one thought I'll just throw out there, and I'm just going to mention, because I know we're going to be talking about this more really seriously at the strategic planning session, but I'm, looking at that list of topics month by month, I'm thinking we should maybe consider a greater emphasis on the recycled water, being able to update people maybe more frequently about the recycled water, so it stays in the public's mind that it is happening.
Mhm.
That it,
Agreed.
It's working.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Noted. Yep.
Sam, thank you for that. I think it was helpful for all of us and really beautifully done. Thank you.
Great,
Nice.
thank you.
Nice.
I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no complaints about the photographer or whomever it was that took the picture of the ASR plant, but you can tell the difference.
I agree.
It's a little more interesting subject matter without question. But
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was Gabe. He's on our list. You can, he's our in-house photographer and videographer, and he's really, really excellent.
that's terrific. Good. So do we need to have any further discussion on this, or do we feel that we've done what it is that we needed to do? Of course, we've received it, and I think we've provided direction. I don't know if we need to have a motion on this.
It's not required, no.
Good. Okay, that just sounds terrific. Great. Well, thank you again very much
Yes.
for that. It was really terrific. I think all of us have the same feeling. Thank you, Stephanie, for
Yeah.
putting
Thank
this
you
all
for your
together.
input.
It's really terrific. So let's just see if there's any member of the public who would like to comment on either this item or any other items that might be of importance to this committee.
Director Adams. So I don't see anybody with their hands raised. So I'll take
Okay.
it.
Thank you very much, Joelle. So with that, I think, are there any members of the committee that have any comments they would like to make at this point?
I'd just like to add my thanks.
Yeah.
It's very helpful and thank you for bringing us up to speed on what you've been doing.
It's great. Thanks very much, Stephanie.
Yeah.
And then are there any items that we would like to have placed on future agendas coming up?
I think that, to me, we're going to have to wait until the strategic planning. I don't,
Mhm.
to focus on where we need to go.
Yeah, I agree.
I do too. Although I must say that I think Karen's comment about ensuring that we get enough out there about the public, that pure water is working, and that we are, that it's just working. And
Yeah.
that's an important message for people to have in, in their mind at all times. So I think that's great. Any member of the public who has anything they would like to see on a future agenda for this committee? Okay, well, with that then, if there are any further comments from anyone, just a great big thank you both to staff and to TMD. It was just terrific. Thank you all so much. And we'll see you on the, I think it's the 25th is our next board meeting. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Thursday.
Good, Thursday. Okay, it's everything's out of sync, but that's the way the world is these days. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
great
Thank you.
meeting.
You.
Thank you
Good
all
day.
so much.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, everyone.
You.
Bye-bye.